Hi everyone, my name is Liz Punshon. I'm the Director and Acting Branch Manager for People2People Melbourne. Welcome to this Friday's edition of P2P Live. It's my pleasure to be hosting today on behalf of our Group MD, Mark Smith. It's very exciting for Mark and Liz Jones. They are in London this week, getting our brand new office set up. So I'm sure Mark will fill you in on all of his adventures and what's been going on when he checks in with you next week. But very fitting that today it is Melbourne Cup Week, and really excited to be hosting today, talking all things Melbourne. So I hope everyone has enjoyed the Spring Carnival and specifically Melbourne Cup this week. What we will be discussing today, we'll go through the numbers, so looking at some employment data. We will look at some top 3 jobs that the team is looking to fill on this Fill Job Friday. Our special host, Chelsea Dale, will be talking all things the Victorian election. So we're very excited in Melbourne that we are working on a big key project for the election from a temp job perspective. So she'll discuss that with you. And we'll also share with you the results from last week's Twitter poll. But first up, let's talk about numbers. Great. So what you can see on the screen here is the latest employment data. So the unemployment rate remained at 3.5% for Australia as a whole. And specifically for Melbourne, it is at 3.5% at the moment. The unemployment rate was 1.7 points below March 2020, and the unemployed people increased from 8,800 to just under 500,000. So other things to consider, that there is definitely what we're experiencing in Melbourne is still that candidate short nature in the recruitment space. So as recruiters, we're definitely seeing that there is still that challenge on finding quality candidates for the roles that we are recruiting for our clients. And given the time of year, there is definitely that push for businesses to find appropriate candidates for the jobs that they're recruiting for their teams this side of Christmas, to either have new employees start, to have a bit of training and momentum before the end of the year, or to have them ready to go to start in January. So if you yourself are looking for a job in Melbourne, our team would be really happy to assist. So please don't hesitate to give us a call, and we'll share our contact details with you towards the end of today's session. So that is it from a numbers perspective today. So what I'd love to do now is talk you through top 3 jobs that we're recruiting as a business at the moment for Fill Job Friday. Alrighty, so the first role I'll share with you is from our Parramatta team. So they're looking for a legal counsel. So my colleague Patricia is managing this role. So they're looking for someone who will who would need to be admitted as a legal practitioner in New South Wales with 2 to 6 years post-qualification experience with previous exposure in negotiating and drafting agreements. So you'll be reviewing marketing material, providing advice to businesses on a broad range of legal matters, including general corporate and commercial advice, competition and consumer laws, intellectual property, privacy, spam, and general litigation matters. So if you are interested in hearing more about this opportunity and you have that relevant experience required, please contact Patricia on the details below. The next role is with my colleague Laura Murray in our Sydney team. She's actually recruiting a role in Canberra. So although we don't have a physical office in Canberra, we do support clients across Australia and New Zealand. So this is a part-time temporary role until the end of the year. So you would be assisting with meeting and greeting visitors, managing all inbound calls, managing bookings, managing appointments, and billings for clients. So it is a requirement of this role that you need to have 4 COVID vaccines and are able to work Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So if you or anyone in your network is looking for work in Canberra, please get in contact with Lauren today. And our last role that I'll mention is from our Perth team. So my colleague Pearl is looking after a business support administrator role. So this role, you would be responsible for meeting and greeting visitors, diary management, organising meetings, travel arrangements, and email correspondence. You would need to have previous experience in a similar role and strong communication and interpersonal skills. And this role is paying up to $32 an hour plus super. So if you have the strong Microsoft Suite skills, then please contact Pearl today. Great, so a summary of the roles and the contact details are on your screen now. So if those roles or any other positions that you see advertised on our website are of interest, please get in contact with the relevant consultants today. Excellent. So what we'd love to do now is talk you through our really exciting project that our entire temp team is working on at the moment, which is supporting the Victorian Election Commission with temporary staff as we get closer to the election. So before I introduce our guest speaker, please check out this video.
Hi, Liz.
Well, welcome, Chelsea. So Chelsea works in our temporary team in Melbourne. So it's great to have you joining us today, Chelsea, to talk all things the election. So everyone just got a bit of a taste of what we're working on by watching that video. But please talk us through the project.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks for having me, Liz. So yes, we've been very busy down here in Melbourne, supporting with VEC the 2 roles here. So the first one that I'll run you through is the hub support officers. So these roles here, they are across 10 different hubs in Melbourne. So they are on the screen there. So the roles run from the 23rd of November to the 7th of December. So there are different hours available, just depending on where the election's up to. But really in this role, here, you would be responsible for managing the return of the materials from the voting centres on election night and then afterwards as well. So receiving, checking and then sorting the documents for further processing, and then a bit of counting involved as well. So the rates do vary. That starts at $31.89 to $62 per hour plus super. It just does depend on the day, time, and then any overtime involved as well. And then the second role we are recruiting are the logistic officers. So they are based at the Melbourne Showgrounds. So part of this role is a bit of site management, again, making sure materials are going from A to B, and then supporting all of the different voting centres and hubs as well. So for this role, a driver's licence is required along with being triple vaccinated and then obtaining your own police check as well, and then a few government compliance documents as well. But yeah, as you know, love to hear from anyone that is interested. So feel free to reach out to me via phone or even emailing your resume, and then we can be in touch to go from there. But yes, very exciting times.
Very good. And I love that there is so many different locations. So really,
Definitely.
there will be people
something for everyone.
Yes, people watching from all different parts of Melbourne and Victoria that can get involved. And I know that we've had lots of referrals come through from our advertising so far. So knowing friends or colleagues or family members that want to join in on the fun. So
and they can do it together, which always makes it funner.
Yeah. So if you just want to remind everybody again, Chelsea, of the compliance requirements and then your contact details as well.
Yes, great. So for both the roles, you would either need to be double vaccinated or triple vaccinated. So the triple would be for the logistics officers. Both roles would need your own police check within the last 12 months. Working rights for Australia, and then also there's a compliance documents for the government as well that we would need completed. So yeah, my details are on the screen below, but otherwise you can email me on chelsea@people2people.com.au. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Lovely. Well, thank you for joining us today, Chelsea.
Thanks for having me.
Great. So lots of roles available for that particular project. So we look forward to hearing from you with your interest. So finally today, we're going to go through the Twitter results from the poll that was released last week. So the question was, are you planning on looking for a new job towards the end of 2022 / the beginning of 2023? The winner was no, I'm not, on 45.2%. But I do want to acknowledge that very closely behind was yes on 38% and undecided, interestingly, just under 17%. So like I mentioned earlier, it is a time of year where people start reflecting on possibly new year, new job, and also employers are thinking about what hiring they need to complete before the holidays. So if you are in that 38 / 16% bucket, definitely could be time to check in with a P2P consultant to look at what opportunities could be out there for yourself. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the next few weeks as we lead into the silly season. So we do have a new poll for this week. The question being, as a job seeker, when do you think is the best time to look for a new role? So the options being, it's always a good time, start of the year, so that new year, new job concept, towards the end of the year, or over the summer break. So you've got, jump on our Twitter, the People to People Twitter, and get your vote in. And I'm sure Mark or whoever will be hosting next week will share those results for you. So look forward to seeing the outcome. So that is it from us today. So thank you so much for your company and thank you for joining us. Have a fantastic weekend and I'm sure we will see you soon.